comes from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Every athlete is on this quest. Every performer dives in head first, battling real-life challenges and overcoming obstacles in an effort to make their dreams reality. Singer, speaker, and 15-year WWE host Lilian Garcia was the first woman to ever announce WrestleMania and is now the PFL MMA cage announcer. Oh, yeah! And now she's giving you an all-access pass to the human interest stories of elite athletes, extraordinary entertainers, and wellness experts. Now, let's embark on another fascinating journey of chasing glory with your host, Lilian Garcia.
99. Wow. Welcome to the 99th episode of Chasing Glory. We are approaching 100 episodes and can't do this without you. So thank you all for listening. If you have been listening over and over and over, I really, really appreciate it. And if this is your first time, welcome to the show. And make sure you go back and listen to episodes that you didn't get to listen. You have a lot of catching up to do. But remember that the content here is one where we call it evergreen, which means it's never outdated because we talk about people's lives and their journeys of chasing glory. So far, right? Because we continue to chase glory every single day, more and more and more. And we're just hearing such incredible stories. And last week was no different with Kayla Braxton. Thank you, Kayla. So many comments from people and even from Kevin Owens from the week before and all my guests. So thank you so much, guys. And next week, we're going to have our 100th episode. Next Friday, you'll find out who the guest is for the 100th episode. And just very excited to be reaching that milestone. And again, it couldn't have been done without you listening to the show, without you spreading the word. So make sure that you go ahead and tag somebody. Let them know about Chasing Glory. Spread it to at least 3 of your friends. Anybody that's feeling alone, anyone that's feeling frustrated and not getting to where they want to in life, anyone that's depressed, anyone that's gone through a lot in their life. Let them hear the show and the different episodes. And so I think more and more people are understanding that this is a show where we really talk about everything and that way nobody feels alone. All right? So appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and get to the review and then go ahead and get to this episode. I'll tell you all about this episode in a minute. But first, the review of the week. Remember that I'm collecting reviews of the week every single week. We name the winner. We also post it on Chasing Glory Podcast, and that's at Chasing Glory Podcast on Instagram, and then at Lilian Garcia on Instagram and Twitter, and Lilian Garcia official fan page. The winner at the end of the month, you get an autographed 8x10 and also a Chasing Glory t-shirt or a Lilian t-shirt, whichever one you want. And because this is our 100th episode coming up, I'm doing something special. So make sure you get those reviews in on Apple Podcast because we're going to have our winner for the 100th show. We're going to announce that next week. So make sure you get those in and you just go to Apple Podcast for that and write that review. And then you'll be put into a drawing there. And you could win this huge box that I'm going to have with all sorts of goodies in it. So from T-shirts to autographs to prizes to all sorts of things that we're throwing in there. All right? So just make sure you get those reviews in. Okay, so for the review of the week, we actually have 2 of them. My team was like, we have to just have these 2 on. I was like, okay, we can do that. We can bend the rules. It's really not bending the rules because there's no rules on how many we can choose. But anyway, this one is titled Amazing Kayla Episode. This is Bocce Man. This episode always hits me on an emotional level, but the Kayla Braxton episode connected me differently from the rest. This is a lot to tweet, so I will leave it in this review. Thank you, Kayla, for opening up about your story. I may not have had the same struggles, but I can relate to a lot of them. My father was not present and also gathered many children that I don't even know, just like my uncle did. Also, my daughter, being biracial, has dealt with racism in my family and her mother's side as well. I'm so proud of everything she has overcome and where she is today. I had the pleasure of meeting her a few months ago, and she was one of the nicest people I ever met in those few moments we interacted. Wow. Bocce Man, thank you so much for that review. about Kayla's episode. It really was a strong episode. Another strong episode was Melina. And so this one is titled Melina Interview. And this is Kleister 313 or Kleister. Anyway, this is actually a quote that Melina said. So we'll start with that. Why do all these bad things have to happen to make me stronger? So true, right? So this is what Kleister wrote. Wow, Lilian, thank you so much for this interview. And thank you, Melina, for being so open, strong, and for telling your truth. Personally, having gone through multiple sexual assaults as well as suicide attempts and also dealing with depression, I have to say you pushing forward and speaking your truth is helping so many, including myself. Speaking out about mental health and even letting people know they are not alone is not easy, yet it's amazing work that you're doing. This platform will reach so many people who might feel no one understands their path or struggle and help them feel a little less isolated. So thank you. Well, thank you, Kleister. I appreciate you sharing your story right there. And again, guys, can you see? None of us are alone. This all happens. And something that can help you guys that I'm going to be telling you later on in the show that you can, if you're feeling depressed or anxious or, any of those feelings is Simple Habit. These are my sponsors for the show, Simple Habit and Cured Nutrition. Both of their products will really, really, really help with this crazy thing that we call life, but is a life that we love. So curednutrition.com, and you use the promo code GLORY for 15% off. Make sure you go ahead and check them out. And then, like I said, I'll tell you more about them in detail along with Simple Habit. You can go to simplehabit.com/glory, simplehabit.com/glory, and curednutrition.com. Use the promo code GLORY. By the way, Simple Habit is a meditation app. All right, so today's episode, so much fun. I was contacted by Ace Comic-Con to moderate yet another panel. Love doing these. And when they told me the guest, it was going to be Bayley and Charlotte, I'm like, whoa, I love these two. They have done so much work in and out of the ring, just incredible human beings. And we just had a blast up there on the stage in front of a really large audience that was really into it. And why wouldn't they? They're Bayley and Charlotte, right? Okay, so this was recorded a few weeks ago. I'm doing this intro also before Elimination Chamber, so hopefully Bayley will still be SmackDown Women's Champion, but you will know that she's referring to herself as a champion if things do change, because at the time she was. All right, so hopefully she still will be after Elimination Chamber. Good luck, Bayley. I love the interview for many reasons, because first we do talk about Charlotte headlining WrestleMania, what she went through in her mindset, how she's been able to process that whole event. So big of an event. And also with Bayley, the fact that she is SmackDown Women's Champion and, her journey to that title, how she got left behind when Charlotte, Sasha, and also Becky got called up and she didn't. And so there's a lot of things in this interview that we tackled, and Q&A from the audience as well. So it's a very, very fun interview. All right, so without further ado, here is Bayley and Charlotte's continued journey of chasing glory.
Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to moderate your panel is singer-songwriter, host, and executive producer of the Top 10 podcast, Chasing Glory, which just surpassed 6 million downloads. 15-year WWE host and now part of the MMA world as the new cage announcer for the Professional Fighters League on ESPN. Please welcome Lilian Garcia.
Oh, hello, Seattle. How's it going out here? Oh, come on. We're WWE fans in the house, right? You got to get rowdy. You got to get loud. How's it going out here? All right, guys, we have a heck of a panel. We have two amazing powerhouses up here. They're from the original Horsewomen. I mean, unbelievable. I am so honored right now. I'm going to introduce them each. First, let's go ahead and introduce you to somebody that's been at the forefront of the women's revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley. All right, and this one, she is a record-setting, record-breaking 9-time women's champion, and she just headlined WrestleMania. Please welcome Charlotte Flair. Woo! You guys ready for this? All right, we're gonna go ahead and have a seat. We're gonna get intimate here. Oh, that's true. I didn't realize I gotta referee the two of you. This is gonna be interesting. Seriously though, I mean, think about this. How does it feel, the two of you? Think back to the fact that you were at NXT, original horsewomen, and then...
Original.
Yes.
The only 4 horsewomen. Thank you. Thank you. And you guys can record that and send it to Shayna and all that.
Yeah,
we are the original 4 horsewomen. Thank you.
So how does it feel, though, if you think about the way that you were there saying, I want to change things, I want to revolutionize this place, and all of a sudden it's like you fast forward and you look at what you've accomplished. How does that feel for each one of you?
Probably the same, but we always say we all got so lucky to be there at that time together. I always think if I were to get hired a year later or 6 months later or anything, any of us, it wouldn't have happened the way that it did. So it's way beyond what we ever expected. We just wanted to have the best matches that we possibly could. And now she just main evented WrestleMania. With Becky.
Yeah. I think it was just right place, right time, and NXT was just starting, and you had this group of girls, and Sarah Del Rey had just been hired, so the first female coach, and they were just giving us an opportunity to grow and learn in our own class. And like Bayley said, I don't think if we had not come in together and had someone like Dusty Rhodes working with us and believing in us and seeing a character in each one of us, even though we had no idea. I think Bayley's first match, she was a referee, maybe? Or you had a mask?
Oh, I was a luchador.
You were a luchador.
A luchadora.
Yeah.
My first month I was a referee.
And I wasn't even allowed to woo, did the figure 4. And when NXT started having the takeovers and Triple H started giving us the opportunity to have more time and more in-depth storylines, we just ran with it. And the more they kept giving us, we just continued to deliver. And the only thing is, it's so go, go, go. It's really hard to be in the moment and realize how far we've come. I just main evented WrestleMania, and it still doesn't feel real because it's like, what's next?
How did it feel for you, by the way? You're just saying WrestleMania. How did that lead up to WrestleMania? Like, could you even absorb the magnitude of it? Or did you put so much pressure on yourself too because you knew the first time that females were, main eventing, so did it become a lot of pressure and you couldn't enjoy it? Like, give us a little bit of what your mindset was.
No, it was just something that I had said so much in interviews, and I was like, oh, this is really happening. So that was really hard to believe, because just even 3 years before that, when I was saying it in interviews, a couple people would say, that's really cool that you want to main event WrestleMania, but man, you're kind of arrogant. Like, that'll never happen. And then when it did happen, those people messaged me and they were like, man, you guys did it. And I think for me, it was wanting all the women that day, like Bayley and Sasha, to feel a part of that moment, because Becky and I wouldn't have been there hadn't it been for everyone else in that locker room in the past and the present. And I think it was just wanting to make sure that, like, even though I was in there, Bayley should have been in there, Sasha should have been there. And I think it was just wanting them to know I was grateful to be in that storyline at that time to main event, because it took everybody. It just wasn't, Ronda coming, or it just was even off of Evolution. I was just happy to be there, to be honest.
And did you feel a pressure though that night? Like, you just wanted it to be, because us as women, yeah, queen of pressure.
The queen of pressure. No, I think I wasn't even sure. For me, it was after Royal Rumble. I was like, I didn't even know if I was going to be in WrestleMania. So it was just like that whole feeling of, how did I get this far and I'm not going to get this far? Because I had no idea that I was going to end up being the chosen one and Vince was going to, replace me with Becky. So it was like, am I even going to be in WrestleMania? Like, this is what I've envisioned every single day. And then when I got there, it was, I'd Evolution, Survivor Series, TLC, and I was like, I know who I am, and I know how good I am. But that night, it was like, it was a surreal feeling because I'd had multiple WrestleManias, and it's just like you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait, and then it's that main event and it's over, and you're like, it's over. Did I do everything I could to be in that moment? Because it's that big.
And what an entrance you made, by the way. Helicopter? I mean, that was incredible. Am I right? Yes, what an entrance.
That was my first helicopter ride.
No, really?
Yeah.
That was the first helicopter ride you've ever had?
Yeah.
Wow, what a memorable one. Was it scary for you?
I was sitting there with that title that Bayley has.
Yeah. Whoa.
This one?
Now I don't have it.
Now you don't have it. That's right.
And we're going to get to that.
You don't have it. You don't have it.
For you.
You don't have it.
Wow.
You are facing me tomorrow in Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, okay. Maybe I should fly to Jackson, Mississippi and introduce that
Anyone
match.
wants to come to Jackson.
I'll make sure and do that one. For you, how was it, the fact that when you heard that Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda were going to be headlining WrestleMania?
Well, kind of off what Charlotte was saying earlier, in NXT and throughout our time with WWE, it's taken not just the women in these matches or on the roster, but it's taken everybody else that believes in us. It took Dusty, it took Sarah Del Rey, it took Triple H, it took Vince for kind of being like, okay, let's see if these women can do what they say they can do and what the whole world's been saying. It started with that hashtag Give Divas a Chance, like all that stuff. It took people believing in us. It took our fans believing in us, all you guys that are here, to actually make that happen. So, you could do so much together and, put so much pressure on yourself, but if it wasn't for all of you guys and everybody truly believing in us, it would have never been there. So thank you guys, first of all. And going into WrestleMania, Sasha and I were the first ever women's tag team champions. Charlotte and Becky were in the main event of WrestleMania, so I don't think there could have been a more special night for all four of us. The fact that we all started together and that we were in those positions at WrestleMania. And like she said, it really did. Sasha and I sat in the crowd for that match. I have videos of the crowd chanting all of their names and all that stuff. It's just crazy. I'm trying not to cry right now because it's crazy, but it was very, very special.
It's wild because I actually snuck out to the crowd too because I wanted to experience it. And it was just goosebumps, tears. It was incredible. So.
And I think that's another thing. I don't know how Becky felt, but for me, like I know going into Mania, it wasn't necessarily the pressure of like how to perform and be in the main event. It was like, I want to make the girls happy in the locker room. I want to make them proud. And like knowing that Bayley and Sasha were in the audience watching and they were such instrumental parts of my career. It was like, man, I hope I make them proud, if that makes any sense.
And I think you
know, don't even say it, Bayley.
Yeah, you did, I guess. I'm still the champ, though.
Still champ. I was going to say, love tonight, and tomorrow it's another thing. All right, I want you to tell us the story because I think it's so incredible. You told me one time on my podcast the story of how you got started, and it wasn't until I listened back to it that I connected something, and I don't know if you've connected this or not, but tell everybody here how you got started. I know the whole color thing is because of Macho Man, and how you got originally going into school and how old you were when you discovered wrestling.
So I started watching wrestling when I was 10 years old, like a lot of you guys. The first person I saw was Macho Man. Just the way he carried himself, his colors, his confidence, so much charisma, something about that guy. I was like, whoa, what is this? And then I just continued watching, and a huge Hardy Boys and Lita fan. Lita being the character and the person that she is, she kind of showed me as a tomboy that like I can be a woman in this sport and whatever. And I started going to these local shows when I was 13. It was called Big Time Wrestling. And not until I was like 16 or 17, I found out that they had a school. So once I turned 18, my mom was a little hesitant because she wanted me to grow out of it. But once I turned 18, I was like, you can't tell me nothing, I'm going. So I went, and I did a show a few years later that somebody saw me and was, I had no idea he worked for WWE. I sent my stuff to him and it kind of just took off from there.
But you said it was also, before you get there, you said you were the only female when you went into that school.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was the only female I trained with them for 4 years. One other girl came through and trained with us for maybe a month, and she tore her shoulder just doing a roll, so she was out of there. But I outlasted the 3 other guys that I started with that same day. So throughout the 4 years, they were rough. And the guys, I had a little more success than some of them on the independents, so they were pretty jealous of me, but I think I worked a lot harder than them because I wasn't, I had a lot to prove. And my trainer, Jason, was the best.
And then leading up to the audition, this is after years of you being in indies, you said you had a sprained knee?
Yeah, okay.
And then you went into the actual audition from there.
Yeah, so I had a hyperextended my knee really bad in training. I jumped off the top rope, just hitting an axe handle or something, and when I came down, my knee was straight, so I wasn't like bent, it was just straight, and I buckled over, and I was out for maybe like a few weeks, but there was this girl I wanted to wrestle, her name was Mischief, and I was like, I have to do this match, I don't care if my knee hurts, I'll work around it, I just want to work with her because I don't think I'll ever get the chance. And so I drove to LA, which is like 6 hours, had this match, and that was where I got recognized. So I was like, man, if I didn't suck it up and wrestle with a bum knee, then I probably wouldn't have this tryout. But then I had to have a tryout with a bum knee, so it was rough. But
and
it
again, in your tryout, this is where I was wondering if you've even put the link. In your tryout, again, you were the only woman.
No, I was not the only. I was the only wrestler. So there was 8 women there, but I was the only one that came from wrestling. They were all track stars. They were all like swimmers. They did all kinds of other things, but none of them were wrestlers.
Okay, because I understood that you were saying that William Regal was there and he was so impressed that you wrestled the men so well as you did.
A little bit. But I was teaching the girls throughout the tryout, like what we were learning. So I think it was that, and then seeing how I was with the guys too. Because I trained with guys, so I wrestled better with them because they're, I don't know. Guys are really, really good. Not as good as us, though.
Wow, that's quite a story because you think about somebody as, 18 years old getting into this and then going to the indies and then pushing through an injury like that and then getting seen and getting your audition, which is incredible. To you, seeing you as I was announcing, seeing you at ringside, just watching your dad, did it ever enter your mind when you were there watching that you actually wanted to step into the ring and do this?
Honestly, no. I always went to the shows and wanted to take my friends, or when I was in college, like you're talking about, bringing my volleyball team. But seeing the women during that time period, I just never, like Bayley, I'd play sports my whole life and I was a tomboy. Not a tomboy, but I kind of was a tomboy. So I just didn't see myself as like Stacy Keibler, Tori Wilson, Trish, or Lita. So I was like, oh, well, I'm athletic. I think I could, do the moves, but I just didn't see myself as a diva. So I don't know if that's kind of why I didn't really care about it. But not until 2012 when I was just living in Charlotte, personal training, and we were at the 4 Horsemen Hall of Fame induction for my dad. And I was with my little brother and one of the producers. And Johnny Laurinaitis at the time was like, why aren't you doing this? And I think he just said it to me to kind of encourage my brother to kind of light a fire under him to do what was needed to get into the company. So I was like, maybe if I do this, my brother will get on the right path and I can help him. So literally 3 months after that, I reported to NXT having, my dad was Ric Flair, but I had no idea about the business. I didn't even really understand what my dad meant to the business till I got there. So that's why it is. No, it's true. I was like, why do these people not like me? What do they mean I'm just here because I'm Ric Flair's daughter?
My driver today, when I told him what I did, the only person he was like, have you ever met Ric Flair? I was like, yeah, I beat his daughter.
Ouch. No, but when Bayley talks about all of us being there at the right time, like for me personally, not having a wrestling background and being able to work Bayley, Sasha, and Becky, and them kind of showing me the ropes and showing, all the passion that they brought into, being on the independent scene and wanting this from childhood, and then me being like, whoa, what is this crazy world that I've been missing out on that I fit into? So really, it was just not until July 2012 was I like, oh, did I like this? Like, it was really like that.
And was there a time when you were in there rehearsing the moves and all that, you were like, wow, this is really harder than I thought when
Absolutely
I saw it?
not.
Probably not.
No,
How
actually-
did she do all those things?
No.
Do you guys know after her Hell in a Cell match, she was in the gym PRing like her deadlift or something?
No,
we call her Terminator.
The wrestling part was fine. It was like I was scared of my own shadow. Like literally, I'd like get in the ring and like shake. Like I didn't have a character, or I didn't know who I was. So performing and pretending to be someone and public speaking, like I was a ring announcer for like the first 6 months, and then having random matches. So it really just took the ring time with the girls and figuring out like. I just had a lot of catching up to do. But it was awesome.
Was it Dusty Rhodes that helped you to come out with the character?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's like all four of us, it was just Dusty finding something that was true to us, like something that was authentic, and then making that larger than life. So it was like first started with my athleticism and then the legacy. So it was just believing in that confidence of, you can carry yourself like a queen, you can see that in each one of our characters.
It's crazy because what we try to like hide our true self because we don't think that's good enough for our fans. Or like, no, they're not gonna really like me. But Dusty was like, no, that's what's special to you is like who you really are. You're athletic, your family, like your royalty, your wrestling royalty. And same with, he's like, you're a fan, like make it larger than life. Like we're really just who we are. And he made us feel confident in ourselves. And that's when everything like blew up. That's when NXT blew up, is because Dusty made us see that.
That's when NXT blew up, keyword.
Yeah. Not saying just
The OG
us, but
crew.
everybody. It was Dusty but believed in everybody and who we really were, who we were afraid to show.
And I remember you saying at one time to me that there was a time that you were going through some personal things and you didn't feel as strong. And you said, I created Charlotte Flair as like an alter ego where I could step into her.
100%. So when I first started, it was like, really up until the last like 2 years, it was just creating this character that I wanted to be like in real life. And then finding that. So when I first got to the main roster, debuting as a baby face and having to face Paige and Nikki, and the arena is just like booing me. And I'm like, why does no one like me? Like, I'm blonde, I'm smiley, I'm happy, I'm athletic. Like, I just don't get it. Like,
Exactly.
why are they booing me? So, snaps. So it was like turning that into like fuel to the character. It was like, okay, well, you don't like me, I'll give you a reason not to like me. So then it was like accepting, okay, my dad's Ric Flair, and then they made him my manager, and it's like, oh, you think I'm handed everything? I'll show you I'm handed everything. And it was like building that confidence, like each step at a time, and just like owning it instead of being like, no, I'm so sorry, I'm a Flair, I'm so sorry. Like, and then wanting to be feeling like a queen.
What a great lesson, though, for anybody out here facing that in their real lives, right? Just step into yourself for sure. How hard is it for you to be a Flair? Your dad's 16-time world champion. Is that something you focus on now, being a 9-time WWE women's champion?
Who's Ric Flair? Charlotte's dad? Charlotte's dad? No, it's a mixed blessing. I say, like, when I first debuted, when they first put me with my dad, I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad. Like, how am I supposed to go to the ring every night with Ric Flair? Like, how am I going to shine in his presence. And I just took every opportunity when I was on TV to be like, no, people aren't going to pay attention to him. They're going to pay attention to me. And then I still think sometimes it still gets to me to this day, but that's, oh, she's only here because of this and that. But it's like that one chip on my shoulder that I think makes me who I am and how much I've grown is because I always constantly want to prove to people that I love this business, the passion I have for it, and no matter who my dad is, I'd still be the queen.
And I applaud that because, girl, you do work hard. It shows. It absolutely shows. I love the looks these two are giving each other.
This is Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
How much fun is this interview? Oh my gosh, I love these girls. And we're going to keep with the interview, but first I just want to let you know about 2 products that I feel are going to really, really help you. And this is for a variety of things that you may be dealing with, whether it's depression, anxiety, insomnia. Hey, what about menstrual cramps? Or are you dealing with pain, inflammation in your body, arthritis? You name it, I've got the goods here, all right? So let me tell you first about Simple Habit, because it is a simple habit. It is an app that is so awesome. It is, my gosh, it has been thought out. In fact, if you go to simplehabit.com/glory, you're going to be able to download the app from there, and then you can get a discount, 30% off the premium price if you decide to do the premium. But if not, you have hundreds of meditations that are for free. So let me just give you a little insight. So if you open up the app, literally they have tons of filters. You'll answer a few questions as to what the main goal of you wanting to meditate is. And these are guided meditations. So they help you along the way. And it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever amount of time that you have. But like, for example, I opened it up and it says, release tension. All right. So if you need help releasing tension, someone's going to help you. Unwind after a long day. Peaceful evening. After your favorite show. How about that? Tired mind and body. Meditate during bath time. So it's not like you have to just stop doing everything. Like that's a perfect example. Meditating during a bath. So while you're doing something else, you can actually be meditating at the same time. Overthinking. Are you an overthinker? I'm an overthinker. So they have one for a whole program. And some of these are like a series. So if it's about overthinking, they will have one that you do every single day to focus on that. How about weight loss? A lot of us struggle with food. I said us because I used to have an eating disorder. So my relationship with food, it's way better now. Way better. Thank God I don't have an eating disorder anymore. But I still obsess sometimes, or am I eating too much? It's just constantly in my mind. So this will help with that, with how to focus on, weight or maintaining your weight or losing weight, but doing it in a natural way as far as with this meditation. And there's a lot of clarity that you can get from these meditations. Slowing down. Are you always on the go and don't know how to slow down? Boom, there's a meditation for you. And your day with gratitude. That right there makes so much difference. And then they have one there's like 31-day fresh start. Do you feel like you just need a fresh start in life? Well, then pick that one, 31-day fresh start. All right, so simplehabit.com. Check it out for yourself. Amazing, amazing app. I love them. So go to simplehabit.com/glory. Remember, put that all up on the URL so that you can get 30% off if you want to go ahead and upgrade your plan to a premium plan. You're going to get that 30% off that you can't get anywhere else. So go to simplehabit.com/glory. simplehabit.com/glory. Try it out. I know you're going to thank me for it. And another company that you're going to thank me for telling you all about is Cured Nutrition. Now, you guys, I'm sure, have heard about CBD. CBD is pretty much like all over the place now. And this is hemp derived. Okay, so it's different. It's not THC. It doesn't have that psychoactive component that will make you high. Nothing like that. It just chills you out. It helps you with anxiety. It helps you with depression. It helps you if you're, it helps your dog too. Your dog, if it's suffering from seizures, or is your dog one of those that are just very anxious? Let's say you leave the house and your dog is the type that always goes nuts. give them a CBD treat to calm them down right before you leave. So that way they're not so full of anxiety while you're gone. So this helps a variety of things. And I decided that this went over so well last time with the reviews that I wanted to go ahead and read you some reviews because they have nearly a perfect record, amazing reviews. And this isn't just hearing it from me, but from people that are taking the actual product. This one here says, changing my life. Ever since I started using the cured gel caps, I've noticed how much better I'm sleeping and how my anxiety has improved. I've only been using them for a couple weeks, but I can already tell that it is going to help me a lot. I recommend this for people who are interested in CBD, but have never taken it before, or for people who aren't sure about the oil. These are easy to take as well with everyday vitamins. Remember, this is tinctures, nibbles, oils. They have spices. They have the cookie dough, delicious. So it's a cookie, the cookie dough cookie with chocolate chip. Oh my gosh. But it just takes the edge off, right? Because life is so much on the go now that sometimes you need a little help to take the edge off of that. Here's another review. I love the cured gel caps. They are the perfect on the go. I take one every morning before I start my day, and it helps me stay focused. Because some of these gel caps too have mushroom in it, mushroom components, and that really helps with awareness, with clarity, with memory. So this isn't just, like a surface level. This really goes in and helps your endocannabinoid system get all balanced. CuredNutrition.com. Make sure you use the promo code GLORY for 15% off. Because if you log on the website and you go to CuredNutrition.com, you're going to see that you're going to get a 10% off. But for my Chasing Glory listeners, you get a 15% off if you use the promo code GLORY. And that's every time you order. If you order multiple times, make sure that you use that promo code. It is not just a one-time use. Great? Great. All right, so make sure. CuredNutrition.com, promo code GLORY. CuredNutrition.com, promo code GLORY. Okay, now back to the show.
Now, more Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
All right, for you, oh my gosh, think about it. From NXT, you're the 4 horsewomen, and you all think you're going to get called up to the main roster at the same time, but nope, didn't quite work out that way. If you guys remember, it was definitely Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky that got called up, and she was at NXT for like another year. And I remember...
Thanks, Lilian.
Sorry, no, I'm getting somewhere with it. Hey, it has a happy ending, all right? Relax. But take us to that moment, because that happens in life sometimes. You get left behind, or you feel like you're left behind. The doubts start coming, right? And you can then turn that in, go spiral downhill and sabotage yourself and all of that. But again, we see the ending here, or I should say the continued journey. Grand Slam winner.
Now look where we
By
are.
the way, not to rub it in, but Grand Slam winner.
I'm a Grand Slam champion
right.
too, FYI.
Yeah, she just doesn't have the tag titles, but it's okay.
I was just going to say, wait, you can.
Because I don't think anyone wants to tag with me.
Yeah, no, probably not. Shoot. Maybe your dad.
If he could, he would.
I know,
Trust me.
I know.
And absolutely, don't even give him that idea. He'll be showing up in Jackson tomorrow.
With a wig on, for sure.
Yes. I can take a bump, honey, I promise. No, Dad.
But how did that feel for you when that happened? What went through your mind? And now, looking back, are you glad it happened?
Yeah, so there was a lot. So I heard rumblings of them going, and I was not. And I was like, oh no, what did I do wrong? I had just broken my hand. And I was like, is this holding me back? But I was still able to wrestle with my cast on, so that couldn't have been it. I thought of every possible thing that I could have done wrong. But I remember the night of, they all text me separately and was just, like, they felt so bad, and I hated that. They didn't like that I wasn't there, and I didn't want them to feel that way in their debut. And I know they didn't, but it was I don't know, we just had like a connection, and so I sat on my couch and I watched it happen, and you kind of have like mixed feelings, like, dang, dude, I wish I could be there, but more than anything, I was just so happy to see them being there, and I knew once they were there that everything was going to change. And I knew that they were going to make my path a lot easier. I'm like, okay, you guys get the work started, and then when I get there, it'll be a little bit easier for me. At least I'll have friends when I get there. But now, definitely looking back, I think that year in NXT by myself, without them, I had nobody to run to. I had no one to rely on. I had a brand new roster, and I became the NXT Women's Champion. So that was the biggest year of my career. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much more in the ring. I was able to kind of take more of a leadership role and travel the world. That's when NXT started going to the UK and started going everywhere for the first time. And I was doing it as the women's champion. So that was just amazing. I had so many of the girls' first matches there where, like, I taught Lacey Evans how to do a headlock takeover, and now look at her. Like, things like that where I was a part of everybody's first little thing. So I definitely miss them, and it was so hard. But I don't think I would be the person that I am or the performer that I am now if I didn't have that year by myself, because I had nobody to rely on except myself. And then when I got there, like, you know, Sasha said, here, let me show you everything. And I was like, okay, cool. It's just like, you know, they took care of me, and I was very grateful.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, and I think, too, the circumstance, like, TakeOver wouldn't have happened, Brooklyn, had you debuted. And it's like one of those things when you're on the main roster and you're like, why isn't this happening? Why isn't this happening? I always tell certain girls, like, trust me, it's not happening because there is going to be a moment for you when your time is coming. Yeah. Like, for instance, Becky. But going into WrestleMania when I faced Asuka, to how she felt, to I'm saying, listen, your time's going to come. And then ended up winning Mania. I felt like it was the same for Bayley, and then becoming the heart of NXT. Like, that kind of made us a little jealous seeing, you know, because that's where we were all from. But
yeah, and you got the opportunity as well for the Iron Man match to be in the first women's Iron Man match. I mean, that was incredible between her and Sasha Banks.
We're the only two Iron women, huh?
Oh, yeah, we both did have the Iron.
Yeah, I was going to say, you followed up. What? No?
We have to see who the ultimate Iron Woman is, huh?
So let's talk about this, because I think it's a perfect segue.
She did call me the Terminator. Did you hear that? Okay.
Terminator versus Iron Woman.
I've just been given the cue that we want to go to the Q&A, because we want to give you guys an opportunity to answer your questions. So go right there to the microphone if you have a question for them. While you guys are lining up, I am going to go ahead and ask them this last thing. So you guys, if you want, go to the microphone right over there.
Microphone's over there.
Microphone's right over there. You got to line up. All right.
Hey, you in the Charlotte Flair shirt in the front. I know you have a question. Don't be shy. Come on.
Go over there and ask a question. All right, hang on a second. So, coming off of WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, you have a match against Becky Lynch. You win the SmackDown Women's Championship. This one over here wins the Money in the Bank and decides in like 2 hours to go ahead and cash in. Woo!
Charlotte!
Oh my gosh.
Not ready yet.
It's Busy Body.
Oh, wow.
Hey, you!
Oh, he's saving you. He's saving you the embarrassment of when I beat you for your title.
What's up, champ?
What's up,
Did
buddy?
you pay him?
Yes, I did. Wait, you gotta ask me your question. Ask me your question.
That was definitely on cue.
You're the best.
Oh, that just made my day.
That was awesome.
Go ahead. We'll go ahead and open it up. I'll just leave that moment between the two of you.
That was so cute.
What's your question?
Oh my gosh, just want to say it's an honor, first of all. Standing in front of three legends. Wanted to first say, just congratulations on all your achievements just this year. First Money in the Bank winner, women's tag team champion, 9-time women's champion, first time main event, WrestleMania. My question is a nerd question. Symbolism is big on me, and I see that you guys are very big on symbolism. Do you guys have a favorite gear because of what it means to you, or maybe a match that was very special to you?
My gear. I mean, my obvious favorite match is NXT or the women's tag championship. Trying to think of all my gear. I kind of try to make it mean something to me. Lately, I've been putting a butterfly on my gear, just as a symbol of evolution and how in myself. Whether people see it or whatever, it's kind of like I look in the mirror and I see how much I've changed and finally blossoming into who I'm trying to be or who I've been trying to be this whole time. So that's one little secret for you guys on my gear.
Definitely my old school boots. The CF. My dad had RF and my little brother had RF. All the robes are pretty much off of my dad's robes. I try to change them a little bit with the peacock feathers. There's an old wrestling magazine called Pro Wrestling, and there was one cover that all my dad's robes were shaped like a peacock on the cover. So that's where I got the idea for the peacock feathers, and it just kind of took off. And yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, how are you? Welcome.
I'm good. This question's for Bayley because I think I know the answer from Charlotte. But my question was, what is your career aspirations in terms of longevity? Like, how long do you plan on wrestling full-time before perhaps moving on to something else like training? I believe Charlotte is passing her dad, and then who knows after that.
She's Terminator. She can wrestle forever. Well, I want to be involved in this for as long as I possibly can. I think, man, I hope I can go another 5 or 6 years, but I'm getting old. Thanks, dude. But I do, ever since I started training, the first day of my training, I said, whoa, I want to open a school one day, because there's something so cool about being in a little grungy garage with a wrestling ring and watching people learn. And I so badly want to open up my own wrestling school. So hopefully I do that before I have to retire, maybe in a couple years. But I don't know. We'll see.
Do you still, I remember you mentioning something that you wanted to do some kind of therapy work as well.
Yeah, before, if I wasn't able to do this, I always thought of being a counselor or a school counselor or something like that, which would still be interesting, but I would have to continue going to school. So, I mean, I could do that too. Possibly.
That would be great in WWE or any wrestling.
Oh, I know. If I could be a therapist on the road,
that would be
we'll
great.
last forever.
Thank you.
Thank
Selfishly,
you.
I hope you wrestle at least 10 more years.
Okay. Just because you got that sweet shirt on. Everyone
right.
go buy a 1, 2, 3 pin shirt.
Hi, welcome. What's your name?
Hey, I saw you last year, Lilian, so it's pretty cool.
Hi.
Nice seeing you again.
You
so
too.
This is all for 3 of you. You can answer it, Lilian. This just got announced 2 days ago. What's your thoughts on Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman being the executive directors of Raw and SmackDown?
I mean, it seems pretty cool. I've never worked with Eric Bischoff before, and I think they're going to bring a lot of creativity to the shows and a lot of different things. I don't know. I'm a little nervous, okay? I'm going to be honest. I'm nervous.
I just think of WCW, so I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
With my dad.
I actually got to work with both of them, so it's pretty cool. I got to say, when I heard the news, I'm like, those two love to compete. So I can just imagine what they're going to do to make their brands the best.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be interesting. I don't know.
Competition is good.
Competition's always good. Thank you for your questions so much. Thank you. Hi, how are you? Welcome.
Hey Bailey, it's Trenton.
What's up, Trenton?
If Johnny Gargano made his main roster debut, which brand would you see him on?
Well, I would selfishly want him on SmackDown because he's really good. And then hopefully he could bring his wife, Candice LeRae, so I can start wrestling her because she's amazing. And we've been friends since on the Independents. SmackDown.
And this question is for you, Charlotte. If Brock Lesnar was to cash in at any time, when would you see him?
When do I think he would cash in?
Yes. Brock Lesnar?
Who knows what that man is gonna do? I don't know. I think it could be whenever he feels like it.
Now that Paul Heyman's running the show, I mean, you can cash in multiple times, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Paul's going to be creating all these different stipulations and rules.
100%.
Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, there's a two-time champ stepping up to the microphone. All right. What's your question?
For Bayley. Actually, for Charlotte. Sorry, Bayley.
Oh, I'm out of here.
You can ask them both.
I'm kidding, Bayley.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
I love a heel.
That was a really great heel move right there. Really good.
Came back.
Charlotte, how did you feel main eventing WrestleMania with Becky and Ronda Rousey?
It's to be honest, it still hasn't hit me. Because the next day I woke up and I was like, I just main evented WrestleMania. Like I said it so many times, and then when it happened, I'm just thinking, okay, well, I want to main event next WrestleMania because people keep saying, oh, the ladies main evented WrestleMania. It's the pinnacle of the women's evolution. No, you just don't have the pinnacle, and then it goes off into the next thing. It's like, no, you have to continue the momentum. So I'm just thinking, like, who's main eventing Tampa?
I'm going to be there.
You better be.
I will.
All right.
Bayley.
Yes. It's okay.
I'm shaking right now because I'm nervous. Because I
I'm
always
sweaty.
wanted to meet you, Bayley, and I finally got a chance today.
You're awesome. Thank you.
Would you want to be in that main event?
I mean, duh. That would have been cool. But I was very happy with my
She was very
position on
much
the
a part
show.
of it, though, in spirit.
You one-on-one with Ronda Rousey, I want to see next year.
You need to see it on Raw. Go watch DVR. I almost had her. That close. She did tap. I know. Come on. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you so much. That was great. All right, we have time for just two more questions, which I think we have two people.
Just
That's
two.
perfect. All right, here you go.
My question is for Bayley and Charlotte. Just going to start off by saying I've loved you guys since you guys first were in NXT. I actually stopped watching wrestling for 10 years because I don't know, I just didn't like the whole bikini bra match stuff that was going on. And one day someone said, hey, watch NXT. And I saw you guys, and it got me back into watching wrestling. That's awesome. But my question for you guys is, have you guys always been focused on fitness and health from when you were very young, like working out, staying in shape? Because I've been following you guys on Instagram, and both of your workouts, and I know Charlotte does her deadlifts and stuff, have been really inspiring. Like, I wish I could do that.
You can.
I can.
You can.
I'm on a weight loss journey right now. I just lost like 42 pounds, and I've been constantly watching what Charlotte's doing. I've seen Bayley, like you can, sorry, I know it's PG, but you can run like a beast. Like I've seen you run. And like, I don't know, I just want to know if you guys were always like that from the beginning.
I played sports in high school and all that, so I kind of just had to do it for in practice and everything. Yeah. When I would go to the gym on my own, had no idea what I was doing. Yeah. I literally just did what I saw. I would had fitness magazines, and I just copied what they were doing. Yeah. And nobody showed me until I got to NXT, where they had an actual trainer, and I was like, oh, that's how you do it. And then it started getting interesting and fun because I'd try to lift more than I did the week before. Still trying the eating thing, trying to do good at that stuff. I'm learning every day, but since I started doing CrossFit, that's when I really started to enjoy training and started realizing I can be strong too.
I literally started playing sports the moment I could walk. So athletics and activity had always been a part of my life. But I think really when I got to NXT, the whole idea of being strong is sexy. Because before, I just don't think I ever felt comfortable in my skin. So I was like, oh, is athletic, sexy? Is it cool? Is it not? And then being around all these like strong women and then having the strength coach and turning that into part of like my character. I don't know. It's kind of like my release and I love it. And it's just, what's the word? Investing in yourself. And I think the audience sees that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Girl power.
Thank you, and keep it up. You can do this. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our last question. Hi.
No pressure.
This is it.
Ladies.
You're main eventing right now, dude. Woo!
Thank you so much. I have a question for both Bayley and Charlotte. You know how superstars, they get a little nervous as far as wrestling big matches and such. And I was wondering, is there a phrase or saying or something that goes through your mind that help you calm you down and help you, get through, especially some really tough matches?
When I was in NXT and every takeover match I would have, or any match, whatever I was nervous for, because I'm so nervous all the time, I would just say to myself, dude, why are you like this? If you can't do this, if you can't have this match, how are you going to have a match on WrestleMania? So that got me through all the NXT stuff. And then I get to WrestleMania and I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why? And I'm freaking out and I just say, okay, you got this, you got this, you got this. Say my little prayer. Then I get out there and I'm like, okay, this is why you do it. Because can't explain the feeling. There's nothing like it. So it's just when you're back there trying to remember how you're going to feel when you're 5 feet on the other side of the curtain, that calms me down now.
Kind of like Bayley, like before a live event match, a Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-view, WrestleMania, the little area is called Gorilla before you walk through the curtain. And I'm like, why do I do this? I don't remember anything. I don't do I woo? Do I not? I don't I'm lost. I'm confused. I'm sweating. I make jokes that are not funny. I'm like, why do I do this? And then my music hits and something just happens. And I'm like, I don't know. I walk through and that instant mean face just comes on and I don't know what happens, but just being in front of a live audience and being able to control the emotions of a crowd, whether it's cheering or booing, there's nothing like it. And no, but I think the minute you lose that feeling, you should quit because that feeling is because you care.
Very well said. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Charlotte, you're the gold standard of the women's division. And Bayley, oh my gosh, you're the reason
I'm the gold standard of the women's division.
You are too, and you're also the reason why kids watch wrestling still.
That's better. Thank you.
It. With that, how about a big round of applause for Bayley and Charlotte Flair?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ladies, so much. You guys are awesome. And how about a big round of applause for yourselves? Because without you, seriously, none of this happens. Thank you so much.
Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
Well, how fun was that? I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really wanted to bring it to you because when we were on stage, it was so much fun and I felt like I wanted you guys to hear this. Just have a live interview and what that's like. So Charlotte and Bayley, thank you so much for being so awesome up there. Bayley's got so much personality too, right? A lot of people thought she was kind of quiet, and she is at times, but man, when she lets herself go, I love it. I just adore her, and Charlotte's amazing. So thank you to both of you, and good luck in your continued journeys. All right, guys, so go ahead and spread the word, and just remember that next week is our 100th episode celebration. Make sure you get those reviews in so that you can be part of the drawing for the huge prize that we're going to be giving away next week. All you have to do is go to Apple Podcasts and write the review. And make sure that you give the show 5 stars. I mean, we have 5 stars. Hopefully you feel like it's worthy of 5 stars. Then go ahead and do that. I thank you for the 5-star rating already. And then make sure that you spread it to your friends. In the meantime, have a great week. All right? just enjoy it as much as you can. Remember, either use Cured Nutrition or also Simple Habit, the meditation app, to help you along the way. Don't try to do this all by yourself, and lean on friends and family if you're going through some tough times. And just know that I love you dearly. Everybody here at Chasing Glory that's working on the show loves you dearly. We all work a lot of hours because of it. So you are worthy. And just remember to go out there and live with much peace, love, and passion, and always be yourself and trust that it's enough. Bye, guys. Love you.
Thanks for joining us here on Chasing Glory from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends, and be sure to subscribe at Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite shows.